All right, so identifying keywords, this is another issue that we often see. Again, we work with a lot of you out there, and you're either too top of the funnel heavy and you're going after keywords that you will not have a chance at all in ranking for. I've seen keywords like business. I had a guy say, I want to rank for business. And I said, well, what type of business do you do? And, imagine, well, one, you'll never get visibility for that, right? And two, for every 100 people that you get to your website, the majority of them aren't going to be qualified. So there's a fine balance between going after keywords that are too broad and too specific. Right, and so the tools that we use, this is the Google Keyword Planner for majority who are familiar with it. It's a very helpful tool. It's straight from the kind of horse's mouth, so to speak. We're trying to rank for Google because they have the lion's share of search of the search market out there. 60 to 70%, and that number fluctuates depending upon what Yahoo and Bing are doing. But as I have this is where we get that search volume, right, that we plug into our demand waterfall numbers to see if SEO makes business sense in order to optimize for, right? So cloud computing, there's 301,000 searches, and if I want to bid for that visibility, Google's going to charge me, bless their heart, $8.47 a click. Right, so and then there's all sorts of fun things that I can run with this, like, well, of that 301,000, how many happen on mobile devices? What's the seasonality for it? So very helpful, but again, you want to use this tool strategically in the front end, and for many of you who have attended our webcast before, you've heard me talk about putting yourself in your customer's shoes, making sure that it makes business sense in their search volume form prior to writing a bunch of content, and there's an order of operations that you should live by. And there's no degree that you can get in digital marketing, sadly, and there's some that are popping up, but people are kind of flying by the seat of their pants. They're, writing. I've had one guy, one business that we worked with. They had to move so fast that they wrote all the content, right, for the website in a couple days. They threw it up, and then they came to us and said, all right, I'm ready to SEO my site. And I said, well, sadly, we can't help you because, one, you baked all your taxonomy, you have all your templates laid out. We're going to have to restructure some of your call to action placements. All the content that you've written for was using internal jargon. There's no search volume based off of that. So in the grand scheme of things, you should have put yourself in your customer's shoes. What are the keywords they're searching for? Lay out your website such that you maximize the likelihood of ranking for those, and there's a whole kind of step-by-step SEO process that we live by in order to maximize that opportunity. But here we're talking about keywords, right? So identifying keyword opportunities, and again, remember I said there's top of the funnel searches, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel, and often folks don't look at it that way, and they end up kind of going after either too top of the funnel or too bottom of the funnel type of keywords. And so for our business, SEO best practices is a top of the funnel type of awareness search term, if you will. SEO for lead generation, again, another keyword that's maybe top of the funnel of prospects that are searching for that probably aren't ready to engage with a digital marketing agency, whereas consideration terms are maybe SEO ROI reporting, right? Not only do you know that you're trying to do lead generation, you're trying to track the revenue. That's maybe a consideration term. And a bottom of the funnel term, for our business, might be digital agency cost, how to choose an agency. So, in each one of those keywords, I need to, one, identify, two, if I put myself in my customer's shoes, I've mapped those keywords to the right pages, I've made sure it makes business sense by going through my calculations and going through volume, and for every 100 people that search on it, here's how many are going to click on me, and of that, here's how many leads I'm going to get, and sales qualified, etc. So now that I've done that, I can now move forward with my optimization efforts. All right, and then finally on the kind of closed loop side of things, and You know, a big part of doing this, especially for B2B marketers, is tracking throughout your demand waterfall, right? From inquiry to marketing qualified to sales accepted to paying customer. And a big part, a big missing component of that is being able to track throughout that whole process. And yes, there are systems and tools out there that are getting better and better. That's why people have Marketo and Salesforce. But sometimes out of the box, these tools don't do the type of tracking, the depth of tracking that you need to change your strategy based off of what's working and not. And we've developed a tool that works with Salesforce and HubSpot and all these different kind of CRMs and CMSs in order to kind of close that loop, right? So to quickly walk you through this, this is what you can do as a digital marketer these days. It is possible. All right, so in this case, someone does a search for medical devices. This is a non-branded keyword, right? Let's say you're a provider of medical devices. Ideally, you want to identify that keyword, right? It makes business sense because there's search volume for it. It's maybe a middle of the funnel type of search term. You have a couple ways to get visibility, right? You can either pay for that visibility through your paid activity through AdWords and pay $8.57, for example, like that one example for what cloud computing was it. Or you can do the heavy lifting and optimize your site for SEO, which was the topic of this webinar. But the tracking tool that we've developed works for both, right? For paid as well as organic, as well as affiliate and email. The whole key to this is adjusting your web-to-lead form, right? Whether you use a Marketo form, your Eloqua form, or whatever form that you use, there's some additional fields that we add to this on the back end, right? And we have JavaScript that's able to populate these fields so you know that John Smith came from Google, came from organic. Here's the page that John landed on, even though John came back 3-6 months later on a direct visit. The whole point is to tie this into your opportunities, right? So if you've ever created any custom fields within CRM, you know that you can pass on these fields to opportunities, and we work with enough of you folks out there that have used all sorts of bastardized versions of your CRM, and some have a manual process where you got to manually upload the leads, and God bless you for doing that. Others of you, there's a different workflow that's in place, but the whole point of spending digital marketing is to identify where your return is coming from. And so we can literally get a view of where folks are coming from all the way down to that opportunity that's created all the way to a paying customer. And did they originally find you on organic? And the last thing they did prior to filling out the web form was type in directly, so there's not going to be a keyword associated. And how much revenue came from that? And so imagine you have that type of view, and the important component here is getting this information in the hands of someone deciding, do I go after this keyword more? Do I build out content? Maybe I add another blog post for this one. Or maybe I dial back on paid search, because guess what? It's not generating the lead flow that I'm looking for, and I'm paying twice as much on a cost per qualified lead basis, and my organic, the website's generating leads at a quarter of that. Therefore, I should devote more effort on my SEO. So these are some of the questions that you can start answering by doing this level of tracking. Right, and this is kind of a sample report that we can generate by doing this level of tracking. And as a B2B marketer, this is critical information, right? And part of our campaigns that we do, we have kind of keyword process that we go through. We map them to the right pages. We have very detailed content recommendations in order to satisfy ranking for these. And we do all this in order to generate business, right? So that's why you got to close that loop. And again, if any of that was interesting to you, feel free to type in the Q&A chat. We'd love to talk to you about how we've